Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty League. The game is ready, and you've got to deal with myself and Ton for this one. Florida versus Boston Breach in our Monster Energy matchup is coming to live on the screens. Ton, how are we feeling about this one?
We're feeling like, I kind of agree with what the desk was saying. It's a super important game for Boston. If Florida want any kind of hope, they need to win as well. It is very important for both these two teams. But realistically, Boston Breach, the pressure is very much on them. Crucial win up against Minnesota Røkkr last week. Now need to get another crucial one against the Florida Mutineers. This one you would think may be a little bit more simple, but you never know what the Mutineers are going to throw up.
You certainly don't, and theoretically not eliminated. But for Boston, I think I agree with what Alan and Ali were kind of saying on the desk. Very important game for them. Boston do not want to slip further into the bubble, further into danger zone. For Florida, it's all about keeping those dreams alive. Like maybe one day I'll be 13 stone again. That kind of dream. It's a long way off and it might not happen, but anything can happen in the CDL.
No, if I speak. Here we are, though. I'm not going to go into these sort of things first cast of the weekend. There's a lot more time for you to have some smart answer back at some stage down the line, so we'll leave that out. But Florida against Boston, yeah, look, both these two teams won this map out last time they went on to play it, and they want to try and keep that momentum going. However, the ARs of Boston Breach, really important. The Florida Mutineers as well. It's so important that these ARs have strong games like they have been recently in the hard points. Let's see who gets it on best as we head into HyDra. And for me, look at Boston Breach. They want to try and keep a hold of P2 spawns. They like pretty much rely on it, I want to say. On many occasions, they've been flipped pretty much immediately.
Yeah, there was no joy there for them on this first attack as well, and it's a great start for Florida Mutineers. Obviously, not a ton of points to be made, but all of it about the spawns here. Can Vivid try and reverse this? Straight away finds Capsule as well. His teammates go down. You can see the spawn already coming in. They've got the P3. His teammates should spawn with him. Wait for that spawn to come in, and it does. It's perfect. Vivid brings it right back.
Manages to get it there, but Brack is there to answer back. So a nice play from Vivid, gets the one, and it was just a little bit of bad timing for Florida Mutineers. Push themselves out just the wrong time, and eventually Boston will get some sort of control over towards P2. Look at the break that could potentially be coming through here. Capsule's the first. And you deal with Brack towards the back. He's just going to wait for the rest of his team to try and find a way through. Vico will be the first.
And this is one of the big stories about Boston. They've been looking for the right pieces to make another run towards the top. It hasn't happened in some time, but a big win here over Florida Mutineers will certainly boost their stock, in our opinion. You can already see right now Florida Mutineers are struggling to make headway. They cannot get past the multi-layered defense that Boston have set up.
And now Boston want to try and flip it so they can spawn towards the back. Perfect play from Boston. They force their way out, but Florida predicting it well. It's a mid-map spawn going to come in from Boston, so it's a bit of a foot race over towards P3. But that's a good deal from Boston Breach. 54 and, well, rising for Florida Mutineers at 7, 8, 9, 10. But realistically, Boston Breach struggle massively on P3. So if they can find a nice break here through Beans towards the back and the rest of the team coming up, that P2 rotation will look very nice. But rotating to this hill has been difficult for Boston. Let's see if they can find a way through. There is going to be a pinch. Beans is the crucial member here.
I know somebody is out here. Florida Mutineers looking for him. Beagle gonna just throw a shoulder, but Beans not able to actually convert that into anything, and has been here for some time. Finds the first, knows there's a second player to deal with as his Kremp goes to work inside the hill, and Boston have broken this.
And Capsule moving towards the back. It's not going to influence the spawns at all. They know he's here. They can smell him. Beans looking for the kill. Is he going to get some good timing? Yes, he is. Guns him down. And all of a sudden, it's a perfect rotation out of Boston Breach. We said P2 to P3 has been a struggle. No struggle there. Florida Mutineers only 30 points on the board. That's 2 rotations you did initially have. In 2 rotations, you got very little off so far. Boston Breach, 20 seconds to go here. Not managing to lock down the kills, or can they, as Beans and Kremp combine? There's going to be scrap time potentially going over towards Boston with the back spawns. Florida Mutineers can get something out of this rotation. But a couple of times, Bryce, as I mentioned, there's been rotations where they locked it in. P2, P3, you haven't got a lot to talk about from that, though. P4 is their next opportunity.
Yeah, tiny bit scrappy from both teams. See if they can put a serious dent on it here. This time, Florida are set up. They have the positioning, they have the numbers, the strategy. But do they have the gunny? Already you can see Vehicle is going to be on a late flank. Everybody just swam straight past from the water. It's outnumbered. Vivid slips through the net straight to ruins. The pressure is too much here already. Boston have walked through the front door.
I like the play from Vehicle, but just a little bit too slow. The rest of the team need to hold on, and they haven't been able to. Spawns in towards the back from Brack. He may be able to help out fellow on the cross. They're pushing through ruins, and Brack surviving is crucial here. Beans towards the back is going to be the next one. The chopping block. Brack surviving. Kremp is there to fight out, but it looks like Florida Mutineers holding on. If they can hold on the rest of this time, they'll take a lead heading into P5.
They certainly will. Brack, the biggest kills he could have possibly made onto this one. Holds them at bay and does not allow them to get that crucial foothold. And now as we head towards the rotation, this is a very narrow game. Neither side able to pull out in any sort of way. It will be Boston for it.
This fella going to manage to find a break here towards the back. Banana control is going to be there. Vivid will make sure to find it. Not pushed far enough back, but the spawns will still come in there for Boston as we keep them spawning towards the back. You've got to keep an eye on that P3 rotation. That may well come through, but Brack on a 4 spree. Needs to try and find some kills towards the back of Florida. Want to get a good hold of this if they can find a break. Kills being traded left and right. Florida still struggling to break through yet.
Brack now going to have to swing into action. Was watching the back for his team here as well. It's a door fight. Beans is going to be in the way, blocking it, and it takes them down. There's 25 seconds still available here for Florida, but can they break back in? They've got to get past them once again. Looks at the Kremp shard, and eventually Vehicle will take down Beans at top as well, but he's already been waiting for a minute. Vehicle slaps his way into this point, and Vivid is flown off into the respawn.
Yeah, but for all that posturing, Florida Mutineers weren't going to get 10-15 seconds. It just was a little bit too late, but in all honesty, a really, really good hold from the Boston breach. They managed to lock down the spawns that they need. They keep that P3 control, and they just don't let Florida get those spawns until, well, the final 10-15 seconds. They pick up the majority of the time from there. So nicely done to keep it in touching distance, but now it's about this scrap over towards P2. Gonna be won by Florida Mutineers. It was last time around, but keep an eye as this timer starts to wind on down over towards P1 on this second rotation. These kills are going to be so important when that timer hits around 15 seconds or so. That's when the crucial ones will start to come through, but it is still Florida Mutineers in control of P2 right now.
And for Boston, they want to get this time off quickly. Capsule floating in the water.
On the
trying
kills.
to stay alive as well because they've lost spawns, they've lost P1. It's basically a disaster here. Boston Breach are now back in control of this map. Let's find out how they are feeling though with Boston Breach. Listen in.
I'll go back for Arnold. Right there. Rocks me up. Yeah, Røkkr, you want to one net here.
Yeah, I got nets. I have a streak.
I need nets. I need nets. Back left on you. From one back left.
Wait for my net top.
Flag on me. Can we jump now?
He's fucking
L me. One's L already.
He's in the back.
Ellen back there still.
He close the door.
Ellen, you.
He's all back to them.
Guys, there's one on this.
I can't jump. I'll see him. Batch. I'm waiting for you. Bottom down. He's two times. One time.
Top down. Take your time. It's your time.
One trap. What's he doing for him?
Yeah, I'm playing for it.
You want to kill him?
I knew that.
They're going to kill him.
He's top down.
Main.
I'm watching.
Somewhere.
Don't.
Nice to do.
I'll back.
Push up P1.
No, we should be good. Walk me in the
Wide up
water.
P1.
Go in the wide right route.
Cut water then.
Nice job, bro. You could be top down. I'm just laying
I'm
down.
not back up soon.
I'm hiding back gas.
I see them top down.
Yeah, let's pull the water. Nice. I'm watching back up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see out.
Well, the listening was basically the Boston Breach breakdown and beat down. They have not got the points they wanted to on the P2. They now have to get this rotation of Vivid and Beans combining in the middle to hold off Florida from this rotation ton.
And they must do, because P2 last time around, you were heading into P3 with a 60-point lead or so, and now all of a sudden you find yourself down 40 off a really, really nice break from the Florida Mutineers. Only one player from Florida can answer back to what has been a nice hold over towards P3 from Boston. And a great hold that they absolutely needed here. Bryce, it was getting a little bit silly. Florida Mutineers were walking away with it. And one more opportunity to break here over towards P3.
They're going for it one last time. Florida Mutineers flooding through every single gap they can find. It's only 20 seconds for the scrap time, but it's about keeping that lead up. You can already see players rotating as well as Beans hits Pipes. And Pipes is where he's going to do the work that he needs to get them off this scrap. The problem is now going to appear, though. Boston are outside of this next spawn. They have to hit this rotation.
Yeah, they're going to get the rotation in for Florida if you like, but that scrap time is not going to help our Boston Breach. There's only one player from Boston in any sort of position who could do anything against it. It is the Demon Slayer himself, Owakening. He's going to manage to find one. The pressure now onto Florida Mutineers. They are going to get the spawns towards the back. Pinch set up here from Boston Breach. Here they go.
And this is the pressure they need already.
Kills
going down. Fellow holds off the first. Last time Brack was the hero. He's the only one alive. And last time, and he will be taken down by Awake. And that is the kills they need. They cannot hold on one more time. Capsule already committing to this. They know this hangs in the balance.
You'd expect the trophy system to be there, and it is. Awakening was the first one there, and he dispatches 3 of them on the way in to help the rest of his team come in through the flank, and that's 15 seconds or so that Boston Breach are going to be pressurized for, but they will manage to pick up. This game is now significantly closer as we head over towards P5. Brak trying to just hold them back, keep them away as long as possible. Florida Mutineers, can you get yourself a decent setup this time around? First kill's going to come through from Boston, make that a second. Spawns should be there for Florida towards the back, but the pressure will be on.
Boston have hit the gas. They're now coming in numbers. They are coming in 4 straight through the front door. The respawn will be there for Florida, but the kills will be there for Boston. Everybody falling. The Florida Mutineers, they rotated early. They set up and they found nothing. They had the lead. It has been thrown and blown asunder. As now the Florida Mutineers are on the back foot.
Good kill from Fecal, though. The rest of the team actually managed to get themselves out of a pinch. For one, though, there's a hold from Florida Mutineers. The Boston one crumbles just as easily. Florida have found a way through. Boston spawns towards the back, though. May be able to break back.
Beans nade will get him a little bit of scrap time. This may go into this next one, a completely tied game. But who's going to be at P1 at the moment? It's maybe Boston. It might be Florida. There's a big gunfight about to go down. I think Capsule was there on the rotation already. And who's going against him? It's Awakening.
Oh, look at these kills. Actually, it's going to be one player through the middle. It's actually going to be Vivid to find that mid-cut. Is he going to be the one that potentially causes problems for Florida Mutineers, who right now do have the P2 rotations, but Brak shooting fish in a barrel. Vivid will get taken down. Positioning from Mutineers is brilliant here. They're 20 points away from the win on P1. P2 rotation is there. Boston, you got to get in the hill.
Well, Awakening is found too. They've managed to find the break they might need. They cannot win it here, though. You can already see the spawn out. Capsule is flooding back through P3. The players are split everywhere. Boston Breach have to hold from every single angle. Fellow's in trouble. Beans has found him, but Fellow finds Beans first. They are playing their lives in every single aspect, but it might not be enough. Only Brak is left alive. They've lost the P2 spawn as well. Neither team able now to win it on this hill. P2 would be where we end it, but it will be Boston in control.
Oh, Kremp just went huge over towards P1 as well. The split spawns come through. It doesn't work out for Florida. It now has to be one monumental break. 20 seconds to play for. You've got time to set up for it, but you have to execute perfectly here. Boston, it's their game to lose.
It's never easy to break P2. Vivid still swimming, still winning. Brak's looking for him, trying to fire through the water. It's not a harpoon gun, it's just attack. And that is the time ticking. Vivid has held them off for so long by himself. And with 4 seconds left to go, the Mutineers have flooded into it. And it's not enough. It's a shutdown. It's a breakdown. It's Boston Breach for the first.
Found themselves around 60 or 70 behind at one stage. But a wonderful hold of P3 gets them back into the game, and beautiful breaking when needed. Things get so scrappy. How often have we seen it on the 3rd rotation of hills? We head over towards P1 and P2 again, and we see teams flounder on so many occasions. It looks like they've got the perfect setup. Capsule was the first one there over towards P2. Start winning your gunfights, you're holding it on. But as I said on the 2nd rotation, you get around 15-20 seconds, things start to get a little bit mixy. The kills fall through, a bit of a split spawn comes through, but it's Boston the ones who are the beneficiary. They will hold on to P2. It is the crucial hill for them in this map, and it's the hill that wins the map number 1.
It really is. If you're going to take something away from it, though, you got to say Boston, the breaks were better.
Yeah.
Florida Mutineers trying to hold against just a deluge of pressure from every single angle, and realistically, if you didn't have Brak make such a big hold on P4, the score could have gotten out of control. But yeah, Boston kept breaking. P2, P1, P5, anything. Florida had the advantage, they had the lead, they were even rotating towards the end. But it doesn't matter. If you don't hold, you don't get the points.
You gotta get your kills in the middle of the map as well. It just felt like Boston was soaking up all of that time over towards P1, and the pressure just got to Florida Mutineers. Kind of at that stage, do you stick, do you twist, do you fight for these kills over towards P1 and just hope that you manage to keep a hold of the spawns towards P2? Things got mixy, but Awakening there. I mean, this was a really important rotation. Off the back of a Boston, what pretty much a 60-point hold over towards P3. The rotation for Florida was pretty flawless over towards P4, and Awakening finds 3 or 4 to find a breakthrough and started the takeover towards the end. Demon Joe getting the job done when it matters. Definitely felt like Florida were the ones in the driving seat heading into that final hill or so, and Boston break when they need to. On map number 1, hotly contested, but ultimately it's the Boston Breach to take it away in this battle of the East Coast, 250 to 232. A very close map number 1 to kick things off.
Yeah, I think the big takeaway there, especially in the end as well, is realistically Florida Mutineers have got to be more careful of blocking spawns out and playing for that rotation. 2 opportunities to win, P1 and P2, and they try to get the numbers onto P1, and they did well to begin with. But then when you start losing, or you start losing those fights, you have to be cautious. It only takes one wrong slip. If you lose the P2 spawn, we know it's a money hill. We know it's a difficult break at the best of times. Unfortunately, they are going to lose that. 250 to 232 as we move on to the Search and Destroy.
And a Search and Destroy that you wouldn't be feeling too hot about if you are Florida Mutineers. Boston very much dominating on this map, especially since Beans is coming in, dropping a 2.08 in the 3 maps that he has played for the Boston side. So that's a scary prospect if you're Florida now, heading into this Search and Destroy. But how often do we talk about Florida Search and Destroys at the beginning of the year? Can they find that essence, I want to say, from what they had at the start of the season? They look so good in this mode. It has significantly dropped off. Of course, Havoc not being in the roster doesn't help things along that way, but it'd be a good time to bounce back right now. Keep an eye on Beans. The snipe picks are going to be so important. A lot of Search and Destroy, a lot of series you get left to go. Florida Mutineers still with an opportunity here.
There is, but I'll be disappointed with that map 1 ton. There's nothing but frustration flooding through the veins of Florida Mutineers. The Boston Breach, a little bit of a reprieve realistically. I don't know how to feel about that hard point, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I feel like both teams made a couple of mistakes that towards this part of the season, and I've spoken about this before, we are heading into the last hurrah. It is the final chapter. There is no more in just a month or two's time. You have to be playing your best Call of Duty if you want to walk away with championships.
Beans, warming the brain up. Getting those eyes nice and focused. But I think, you know, you make a very good point, though. You know, both these teams are still trying to fight to get themselves into champs, more so for the Boston Breach realistically. But you have to be cleaner. Yeah, okay, it's all very well making it to champs. What do you go and lose 2 games? I mean, that's that. Like, you want to be there. You want to get there to win it. That's the opportunity. You don't just go to take part. You're there because you believe you can go on to win it, and they need to be cleaner than that. I will say one thing, though, that we definitely seen a better performance from Awakening in that map, and of course last week as well. I want to say that since Beans has come into the roster, he hasn't been the demonic god that we expected that he has been for the Boston Breach for the last couple of years. He is very much now getting back to that form, recently at least. Can he continue it, though, as we head into the Search and Destroy the rest of the series, the rest of the stage? Need plenty more from Demon Joe, and, well, we may need him here if you're the Boston Breach. 6-2 record, as mentioned as well. Beans has really lit things up ever since he joined the roster, specifically on this map at 2.08 over the 3 maps that he has played. Keep an eye on the sniper. That was very much a tool of his trade. Who's going to be the one to answer back for the side of Florida Mutineers? I'm not too sure, but let's see how it goes. Or not. Quick reset. We'll get back into it.
And it's an interesting thing about the Boston Breach, if we're talking about them. I feel like at the moment, or the way that this team is built, it's so heavily based on slaying. Any respawn, it's all about the slaying. And yeah, even in that last hard point, I'm sure if you go look at it, they were winning the slaying game by quite some margin at some points, but the points weren't really there as much as they could have been. And there is a silver lining to this. If you are slaying very, very well across the map, but you aren't getting the points for it, all you really have to do is make a little bit of an adjustment to get the points, right? That's something you've got to work on, work through the VODs, fix that small mistake. It's much harder the other way. If you can get into the point but can't get any kills, well, you're not going to get the points in the end. So they have part of this puzzle. They have this solution that they have been juggling the roster about with. The only question that really remains, and it is a question everybody's asking, is where do you put Boston in the end? Have they ascended to the level of the top 4 teams in the CDL? Right now, they've got to show us more.
So you're telling me kills don't mean everything?
I am saying that, yes. But at the same time, you have to get them. It is, unfortunately, you have to.
I thought that was the case. Everyone tells me it's all about KD. Here we go then. Search and Destroy.
Like all good things, sometimes a good balance is the order of the day. But let's find out how the Search and Destroy goes. And Awakening already finds the first, but Fellow will get it straight back on a vivid. The sniper is out, and it is echoing all around here as now the battle lines are redistributing.
Well, Florida sent a lot of numbers over here. Must have been expecting this coming in from the Boston breach. Well, we asked who's going to counter Beans with the sniper. It's Tyler Fellow. There's two. Capsule will find the push as well. Awakening ready and waiting, but not ready enough. Is going to be able to find one. Can he find the second? He knows Capsule is weak. Does he know where the third player is here, though? Getting the pressure on. It's a 1v3 that's potentially on the cards here.
Here we go. Big wait for the ace, potentially. The 1 versus 3. Brack running for his life. He reaches. He gets it. He shuts him down. There is no wake and bake today. Pulls that one out of the fire. And that stun, the perfect timing, the perfect reach out, the perfect centering onto Awakening. And that is just everything they needed. Florida Mutineers hold it down the round 1.
Yeah, manic start to the search. Florida sending a lot of bodies over towards the A side. Usually you would expect the commitment, but I suppose B is a little bit harder to go off the rip. You have no trophies if you're on the attack to stop those nades inevitably coming over towards tennis courts, so you head over towards A, and it's a firefight. There's the trophy that's needed to get over across towards B. That's where Florida Mutineers are concentrating their efforts now. Fellow with 2 in the first round. We'll need to find some more if they want a successful attack here.
Oh, Fellow tries to find him as well. Here comes another cyber battle. It's going to be Fellow versus Beans. And Beans with a slow peek against a sniper just is not going to work. Boston only have Awakening left. Last time he tried to clutch it, this time it's a little bit more difficult for him.
And I want to say that, not to criticize too much, but very, very predictable from Beans that time around. Nobody up top. Fellow sees somebody over towards top orange stairs. Doesn't necessarily mean you've got everything else cleared out, but it's an easy prediction from Fellow, and Brack will just hear Awakening coming. Another round for Florida Mutineers. And that's that 2-round cushion. We talk about their offenses not necessarily being strong at all, only 36% of the time, and they managed to lock them down. There's the first one with a defense alongside of it. Hold your defenses the rest of the game, you win the search and destroy. But here we go. Capsule up orange stairs would have got the call up from his teammates. Vivid gets gunned out of his socks. Nicely done from Cap, and there's the predictable angle coming in from Beans. Fellow, nicely done.
We've actually seen this before from Capstore last season. I always felt like he kind of had a little bit of a slow start sometime in the hard points, but would certainly redeem himself in the S&Ds. Let's see if it can continue. Already we can see Boston going for a move towards B. Snipers out once again. Kremp will take down Fellow. Capsule take down Kremp. Capsule cannot snake his way away from Awakening.
He's going to be a crucial player. Getting into that area in and around the palm tree. But Boston Breacher managed to keep a hold of some numbers here, and that is just easy readable, but not, well, easily killable, I suppose, if Fecal can stay alive in this position. Now, he does create somewhat of a problem. The problem for Florida Mutineers here is larger. Brack is going to have to find a pick. Somebody's going to have to find a pick. Could it be Fecal? Vivid in the corner, but you expect the trade to potentially come through, even if he finds this one. There's the first one at Vivid, 2v2.
Fekal's gone for it as well. That's dead silence popped all the way around. Is he going up the back ladder, maybe? No, he's going to open the door. He's looking for anybody he can find.
Oh my God.
Go down as well. There's no way he gets away with it, and down he falls. A retake from the Florida Mutineers. Outnumbered, but never outgunned.
I mean, look, we were watching Fecal. He was on the hunt and doing the right thing. But I think Brack has just absolutely spat on Awakening in the mid-map by the looks of things. I'm not too sure if we'll have it, but it looked like Brack's gunned him. Hard to say, obviously, from where we're actually watching over towards the Fecal side. Of course, the kill on the Beans was inevitable. Really good play, but here we go. Oh, yeah, he's absolutely spat on him, Brycey. Bloody hell.
Oh, he's flawless so far. And that is certainly something. Florida Mutineers coming to play. We did say we always expected Brack in this roster. There was a chance when Florida, earlier in the season, took him out of it, and very few people disagree, so I'm glad to see him back.
A lot more passive approach, I want to say, this time, although you say that Capsule has got himself aggressive. The Florida Mutineers here, Fecal expecting the push to come through. Vivid will be there to trade it. 3 versus 3. Oh, Fellow.
And now, advantage all to Florida. Fellow on Overwatch. Relying on Brack to hold down his flank and get in a good position. That's what he's doing now. He's watching the cross. And this, for Boston, is not an easy retake. Vehicle on top of the van. The flank is secure, so all Fellow has to do is scope.
And Brack's going to be watching the mid-cut. He's going to be pretty much deemed useless here, though. this first kill over towards this side is going to be so important. Fellow can't find it, but Fecal can. Expects the push to come through. It's another snipe from Fellow. Florida Mutineers may well be sitting at 3-6 on this map mode in particular, but this does not look like a team who is sitting at that record. Fellow right now is dominating Beans with the sniper. 5-2 from him, and Florida are just consistently getting the job done here. And something I just want to quickly touch on to here actually is Kremp is trying to get aggressive. He gets first blooded there. Nero was really a huge player for Boston on this map specifically. He's always somebody who's going to be in those SMG positions where he's going to be pushing forward, finding those kills, those awkward little moments. Kremp not able to quite be on that level so far, sitting at 2-4. It has been a struggle so far for Boston, but controlling Fellow is a bigger one at this stage. Force spree for Vehicle, force spree for Brack on top of it. Florida Mutineers are running away with this one.
And Vehicle's going to go for the attack, but Beans has the reflexes to shut him down. And it's better now from Boston. They find 2. Kremp finds a 3rd as well. And now Fellow in a 1 versus 3. Oh, he's going to call this one, though. He's going to call it, but Awakening will get out of there before he gives him the opportunity.
And I want to say for Florida Mutineers here that this round loss is coming down to delusional confidence. Vehicle just sprinting straight at players on the sniper Overwatch, expecting that it can catch them off guard. But Boston say thank you very much. And that will be the warning to Florida. You cannot let your guard down whatsoever. Yeah, you may well be 4-0 up. You've pretty much cruised the entire search and destroy. There's barely been a 1v1 to speak of outside of round number 1. You'll run into Beans like this, though. That's unfortunate for Vehicle. That's when things get just a little bit overconfident. Fly around the corner, no shoulders thrown on nothing. Rain it in.
Yeah, that's not what I wanted. Boston, great reflexes, especially Beans, to pull that one. But 4-1. Boston having a recourse here. Beans again going to be on sniper Overwatch. Trophy down. Kremp's going to fly out as well. They're looking for it. He's given Beans the opportunity, and he will take him down. There is a huge one there, but it's Kremp who gets the kill in the end. These two have combined to pick apart Florida.
It's the headbutt over towards B. But it's Boston Beans who finds Fellow this time around. Brack trying to keep the spree up, though. 5-1 so far. Awkward position to be in, though. Got no bomb. Very little information, and, well, attack from this angle is probably what you want, but not to jump into the angle that Beans will be holding. That's 2 for Beans. It looked like 3, of course, from our POV, but it was Kremp who cleaned up what was going to be a nice quick scope. Nicely done from Beans. It's such an awkward position when you're an AR up there. You got no information. You know the sniper's going to be staring at one of the windows, but this was it. Fellow got spotted, popped his head up, got it taken off. Nah, I don't think he would have hit it. He was close.
And this is the thing I kind of really like about that one. Kremp and Beans combining. That wide chow by Kremp meant they took eyes off Beans for a second. The fact he won the gunfights as well. They chowed from so many different angles. Florida just weren't able to get back onto it. Beans on Overwatch again. Vivid, early bomb down. This is the adjustment from Boston, and it is working so far.
The adjustment that Florida Mutineers haven't responded to. So now it's going to have to be a big hit through PD. If you're Brack, well, you need to stay alive, and that is not going to happen because Vivid is walking up the ladders. Not ideal. You got to expect that push to be coming through. Maybe in and around your spawn. He's already looking for those kills over towards PD. Let your team push through and find them. Vehicle and Fellow, a lot of work to do here.
And well, good snipers in the kill feed. Fellow alone. And already going to be taken down. It's easy there for Boston. This has certainly been an S&D of 2 sides. Boston have got new tactics in the bag, and they are working.
I really don't understand. For Brack in that situation, like, okay, you know there's people going to be PD. Yeah, okay, you're looking over towards it. But the rest of your team are the ones who are flanking around that angle. Yeah, okay, you may be able to spot out and do something, but you're the only one that side of the map where B is. You've got to be expecting players in and around. You have no map presence there. Boston can kind of just run amok in this area. And you're not predicting somebody may walk up ladders or even round behind you. Bad call, I want to say. Florida Mutineers floundering just a little bit. 4-3 now. It was 4-0.
Florida, though, this time fast and on to the point. Not planning straight away. They have a little bit of Overwatch. Beans snaking. No sniper for in this round. And Vivid finds 2. He flies in. Oh, my goodness. They wait for him. The cruise missile does nothing, but Florida again, for another round, have lost the first blood. They've lost the players. Everything is now going against them.
Cruise missile comes in and Vivid just cleans up the pieces. No trophy over towards that side. You don't want to go back to the one that's sitting in the middle of the tennis court because you've got no cover whatsoever. And Vivid's like, thank you very much. You walk into his clutches inside of Orange, and now all of a sudden, Bracken Fellow, we've got to pull this one out the fire. The momentum is very much building in Boston's favor. What's the plan here for Fellow? I don't think Boston are going to give him an inch yet.
Brack goes for a wild chow because he's got nothing else he can do. Beans on a 5 streak. Maybe don't give him another cruise himself. Fellow finds the first. 18 seconds left to go. He needs a miracle, and it isn't going to happen. Beans finds his 6 on a streak, and hey, sometimes you got to count those.
Tough one for Fellow. Just trying to pull something out, trying for the hero play. Feel like you've got to drag the team into it some way, somehow. But Beans with the 6 spring. That's definitely going to help things along. Boston, though, after a really poor start, very much have come to life here. Florida, I don't know what's happened. Honestly, ever since that round where the quick challenge onto Beans came through from Vehicle, not pinning it or anything, but it very much felt like they were being overconfident. And since then, they haven't won a round. 4-4.
Here we go. Beans versus Fellow. Again, slow peek from Fellow this time. Beans is already set up. And he just gets away with it. It's COD timing at its finest. Now Beans will have to reach out, and he does. Fellow looks away. The COD timing is all over the place. Brack now under pressure from every single angle. And Boston, again, win the gunfights. They win the positioning. And Capsule is alone, scared, hungry, crying. And he has 3 members of Boston all staring him down.
Sounds like a Sunday morning in the Ton household. Capsule now struggling. You will find Beans. For Vivid and Awakening in these kind of situations. There's no way they surely lose this. Capsule trying to line it up here. Sitting at 5 and 7. Vehicle not going to give him an inch. Sorry, Vivid. Yeah, they're just playing with their food right now. Capsule. He can't even land a bullet. God have mercy. Vivid will take him down. Boston breaches 5 in a row.
And it's the same story as the hard point. Florida, great start. Terrible end. Can they manage to snatch a victory from the jaws of defeat? Boston on the 5 here, and this is where it is. True. The COD timing that pays out here in the end. Beans looked away. Fellow got in a position. Fellow looks away. Beans gets back in position. It's a nightmare scenario, and there's not a lot you can do about it.
The only thing that's a shame here is we were 1 round away from the potential full sale. Florida Mutineers were 4-0 up here. They've attacked B in numbers. This has been working for Boston, but the problem is you've got a cruise missile coming in. I hope you got a trophy.
I don't think they do. I don't think they do. He's going to try and get up to the top there and get it in, but it's not going to work out, and they have to fly indoors. And there again is Boston. They have the advantage. Beans gives a warning shot across Fellow's bow, but realistically, Florida have not adjusted. Boston made a change in the way they've approached this. And I just don't see anything coming of it now.
The 2 sprees that Boston have had from Beans and Kremp have both worked in the exact same way. On defense, call it in, sit somebody in orange, and just wait for them to fall into your lap. But this is still doable for Florida Mutineers now. Brack has to make a play with his dead silence. Fellow's going to get caught with his pants down now. It's all down to Brack, or it's 6 in a row from Boston.
And here we go. No dead silence. No bomb. No teammates. A sound cue off the ladder. He just can't do anything. Banging. Has to fly in. Down he will fall. And Boston breach. 6 in a row. 2-0 in the series. The Mutineers have found nothing again.
Such a shame. Florida Mutineers started so beautifully. Everything was working in their favor. Big gunfights. Brack couldn't miss them. Couldn't lose them at all. And then something changed. Boston just started, I want to say, maybe getting a little bit more aggressive over towards the B side. Matching what Florida were doing, it was quite often Capsule around the palm tree was just causing so much havoc. And then all of a sudden, Boston make that adjustment. Kremp, I talked about it was 2 and 4 at one stage, and 11 and 5. Huge performance from him. I said the first bloods were coming from Nero's position. Kremp now in that role. 4 to his name. A big game from Boston Breach there to bring that one back around. Florida Mutineers Not a lot to write home of. Honestly, Fellow started beautifully with the sniper. Vico was finding picks. Brack was on fire. Capsule was controlling every area they need to. And all of a sudden, they weren't because Boston turned it on. It's a 2-0 lead. Close circumstances in both two maps. But ultimately, Boston showing their skill at the right times. 2-0 lead for the Boston side.
And this is not what you want. Florida trying to keep their hopes alive. For Boston, they'll be happy to take these 10 points. It's a full 10 points per win. They want it. They don't want to be in that bubble discussion. They do not want to be on that side at all. But how does this series end? We will find out after this break. Do not go anywhere. We continue right after this with more Call of Duty League.
Look like the pros, play like the pros with the new CDL team packs. We've got it all. Home and away, male and female versions, weapon camos, emblems, and calling cards for your favorite squads. And stay in the loop by signing up for the Call of Duty League newsletter. Keep up with breaking news, event discounts, and more. Scan the QR code on screen for more information.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty League. We are live with Boston Breach versus the Florida Mutineers. Currently, Boston beating down their competition. It's 2-0 in the series, and Florida not having a good time. One of those reasons, though, is our scuff play of the game. It's all about the Beans plays, a wonderful accoutrement to any meal, but this time it's all about the slaying ton.
I had beans for my dinner, actually. Not just beans, but beans was having just snipes against Fellow. The majority of the, well, second half of the Search and Destroy. First half, I mean, Fellow was really dominating, but from then on in, Beans very much the biggest force on the map. What was it in the end? 8 and 5. Very influential for his team, just so hard to challenge. And that's why it's just scuff play of the game, just everything that Beans did.
And that's the key. As we move towards the control, they'll be looking for another performance from him. We were speaking about it in the break, actually, and realistically, what we expect here is outslaying from Boston Breach. For Florida, will they do the outplaying? That is the key.
And just one thing I kind of want to just talk about just a little bit was that you were mentioning that Boston, you know, they have the pieces of that puzzle of the slaying ability. They have everybody in there who's very, very talented. Overall, it's a 1.04 team KD on hotel control this year. Their record is 3-6. So you explain that to me, Brycey, because, I mean, that just tells me a team that are not closing out games. Yeah, the slaying ability may be there, but how many times have you been dropped 3-4 in a row, and then all of a sudden you've lost B, and now you're scrambling somehow to try and win the round? There's so many different moments that could maybe add up to those numbers. The slaying is there. The, I want to say ice isn't, but it has been over the last 2 maps. You were behind in map number 1, you came back. You were way behind in map number 2, you came back. Can you find that clutch ability in game number 3 and close it out nice and quickly? That's the answer or the question. Let's see how this one's going to go down.
Oh, Awakening and Beans combining again. Ghosty Kremp moving forward onto Fellow. And right now, realistically, Florida are going to have to try and figure out map positioning. Where do we go? What do we do? How do we get somewhere into this map? They might be just go towards A and get a little bit of time on the board. Still options available for them, though.
You can see for Florida, initially, the easiest time to push over towards B is, well, straight away. No trophies down. Not many people there. Couldn't find the break, though, and Beans will now take up refuge inside the bedroom. Fight's ongoing, though, and Awakening deals with 2 all on his own. Røkkr and Vico trying to find the easy way out over towards A. Awakening will shut him down. Florida Mutineers now spawn over towards the B side. Will be tempted by this as they find Beans inside the bedroom.
This is the key. Florida going to try and make a move. A couple of key gunfights. They could get straight onto it. And this is the issue they've had before. Awakening now watching the cross, but the B stack is in. 2 players sitting pretty on there. They've got control all the way through single. And now they're going to watch for it on the flank, though. And Vivid just walks in and guns 2 of them. And realistically, Florida wanted a little bit more there, but they have found very, very little.
Yeah, Florida get control of the B site and kind of run with it there. Don't leave anyone in bedroom. You get punished for it. Still numbers here, though. Just about getting the job done. His Fellow is able to find one, but now the spawn in for Florida Mutineers over towards B side. You gotta go to that side. You don't have time to get over towards A. It's a 5 spree from Awakening. Meanwhile, go the rest of the round without dying here, but Cap's still leaping from up top. Will find it. Another chance for Florida. 7 seconds.
And every team pulling off the flashy plays as they try to hold each other at bay. The second tick now for Florida coming through. Reinforcements are too far away. They may have to just go to A here and allow Brack realistically to get them this time. You're being slow, Florida. You've got to be a little bit faster. Fortunately, Fellow and Vico are combining. They've got a few kills and staying alive as Fellow has gone huge for the team. But he's got to get to the point. Nobody's here. Vico against Beans. It's a showdown of the rookies. And he's not going to get it. It's going to fail at the last second. And Boston Breach will hold them off. Only 2 ticks for Florida.
The crucial thing for me that I've seen that Vico wins a gunfight over towards the mid-map. And he's like, do I go A? And he turned over towards B. It's such a... Hindsight's a wonderful thing in this scenario. Beans does so well to find 2 kills to, well, pretty much put the nail in the coffin of that round. But the fact that he goes over to B to help the teammates, you're thinking, yeah, okay, secure B, secure B. It makes things much easier. But if he goes over towards A, it is that insurance that Florida Mutineers have. If they don't manage to find B, which they didn't, The insurance plan is very much not there. Vehicle dies alongside of them. Boston Breach hold their defenses, and bearing in mind, as you said, 2 ticks Florida Mutineers, not good enough on attack of hotel control.
Already though, Brack and Fellow managed to get the kills. Brack is his second one as well. Only Kremp left alive in a position anywhere onto this map. They go back to the respawn, off to the races. The kitchen spawn means they should be able to get into A first.
Can they get through? Boston taking their time. Well played from Beans. Shooting very much a thin air there as the rest of Boston Breach will now converge over towards A. There was only one player who could really do much about it. That was Fellow. He's dead. But Boston Breach here, though, you get a hold of A. A minor win, I suppose. Although attack and defense, whatever side you prefer, it has kind of flip-flopped as the eras went on. Definitely stronger on the attack as things have progressed. Both these two teams, though, differentiating. It is offense where Florida Mutineers have most of their luck. Defense for Boston. So maybe they prefer the defense. It's looking like they may well get it. It's not what we've seen in the first 2 rounds. Second tick will be coming on through. Plenty of time yet to go here in this control. Peacock going to go for the challenge over towards it. Wins the gunfight. Wins their second as well. Are you kidding?
I was about to say, are they really going to reach out this? And they are. Vehicle managed to find it as well. And now they're flying. Boston looking for this Vivid. No, he's got that one as well. Should be an easy kill on a Fellow when he gets it. One person onto A. The rest of the team will now go towards B and try to work it. They're getting it. If Fecal falls here, it's a disaster, but he's not going to. Wins a crucial gunfight against Vivid.
Yeah, now he can lock down reception all of his own. Finds 2 over towards A to make Boston have to linger. Wastes a little bit of time. Now all the way from reception. Finds himself pushing out over back towards restaurant. Brack with control over towards the bedroom side. Those kills have been traded. Boston Breach still fighting for this bedroom control alongside Florida. Fellows in there right now. Gunfights here are crucial, but Kremp from behind is going to be the catalyst for Boston. He's just going to go with the rest of his teammates down. He wants to attract some attention from Florida Mutineers over towards him as quick as he can.
Yeah, they are looking for these players they know are going to be there as well. He's figured out where Capsidor is for Florida. Trying to get on that flank, trying to get in position, because you know this push is coming through. The next gunfights are crucial. Awakening is finding, but Capsidor finds Vivid. They're just going to fight alive, and it's Capsidor with the big plays. He keeps Bedroom alive. He means that Boston Breach cannot get into this point happily as he continues his reign of terror down in lights. A 5 streak now for Capsidor. And Vivid, another slow peek, another look here for him as well, but eventually finds him.
He's done so well. Finds 5. But now Florida Mutineers, you do not have much bedroom control. That kill in the mid-map from Fellow, though, may well give you it. It's going to have to be a stack here from Boston Breach, though. They've been offered the opportunity. Vivid from the couches is going to get gunned by Fellow. Brack will find 2. That might be the round.
Beans and Awakening both going on Overwatch, but finding nothing. Capsule shuts down lights as well. That'll be the last push, realistically. There's nobody in a position to do anything. V4 finds Vivid. And for Beans and Awakening, unless they've got some sort of jetpack, they're just not going to make this point, surely.
They can maybe get there, but it's about clearing all your corners. Beans will find another. I don't think he's leaping out of top bedroom for this one. Florida Mutineers on the back of some huge plays from Capsidor will get this one locked down. It was looking like for a second, you know, when Kremp found those kills behind, he's constantly an issue that Florida Mutineers have to think about, but can't really do much about because you need to lock in that bedroom control. Capsidor does it to perfection. Didn't quite get to see the gunfight where he found 2 on his own over towards the elevator, but that does make a huge difference. Then from that onwards, like, Kremp's mostly useless in that scenario. He's like, okay, well, I'm sitting here waiting for you guys to try and find a breakthrough. They don't find it. Crucial thing is, though, Boston Breach did manage to get themselves a couple more ticks there. Just will be in the better position. Yeah, just the one. Heading into round number 3.
Making a play already, but Awakening is waiting. And then actually split up their ARs this time. They've got Beans overwatching here. They're going through with Caps, and oh, he's not going to get it. He gets called out, gets found as well. And this is happening again from Florida. They are struggling to get map control and mix it up towards them. They may have to just go A.
You got to kind of know when to... I was about to say, like, bite your tongue. I suppose that is the way to go with it, isn't it? It's just cut your losses. Head over towards A. But Boston Breach are ready for this. Look at the pinch being set up. I think if Florida knew there was only one player over towards that B side, then they'd probably be making moves. But Kremp gets a little bit of time in. Who's going to be able to find the second as well? And Capsidor can find one over towards B, though, but it may well be a crucial one. Beans is taking down Florida Mutineers. That carrot over towards B has been dangled. They've taken the bait. Here we go.
They're trying to get back onto it as well. Kremp, though, doing his work. Three streak up top. We'll now peek this site carefully, trying to find out where this player is going to be. Behind block will be Fellow. And they're giving it away. Vivid just comes streaming in as well, though. Finds two. Capsule Fellow still alive. And eventually Vivid finds a third. Dies to Vehicle, but that has broken the back of this push. And now Awakening is just trying to get him, but cannot thread the needle past him eventually. Boston clear ranks, and for Florida, you would have thought they might have had a little bit more out of that.
But they've learned from their mistakes here, though. They haven't continuously pushed over towards B. Although they were getting the spawn in that previous attacking round, this time they get the spawn over towards A. Might as well just get a hold of this, huh, boys? Vehicle will find the gunfight. That should be A now gone. Over towards Florida, you can see Boston overextending. Fellow was ready for that from Awakening as well, so that's a big kill on the other side of the map. Fellow finds a little bit of positioning for Florida Mutineers over towards that one remaining site. A is locked in. You got one ticket B. Doable here for Florida.
Brack against Beans, but that nade is going to hurt him, and he's going to go down as well. Beans found a second on the Vehicle, and this is what we talk about with the slaying. Boston, on their best day, can gun anyone. The Florida Mutineers is about playing it against that, because even with it, Boston Breach actually have a negative record on this, but a positive KD.
Having to hold down from the back now if you're Awakening. That's bedroom control for Florida, but they just flew it, everything without clearing out the back bar. Awakening. Fish in a barrel springs to mind. A couple of kills falling Boston's way. Team damage coming in. Kremp will find 1 and 2. The second looks ludicrous on the minimap. And now they can force their way out. Florida got control of bedroom, and it felt like they just pressed the go button immediately. Take your time. Pick them apart from that. Things got a little bit overzealous, and now they paid the price. Boston, complete control over towards the bedroom side.
We see it again, Awakening. Viv is actually hiding, waiting for these players to come through as well. Kremp has positioning. It's a difficult fight every single way for Florida Mutineers, and you can tell it because they aren't getting anything in the kill feed realistically. A big kill from Vehicle kind of narrows this field just a little bit. Beans will be sitting in towards Sofa. He's the only player from Boston out here, and Fellow will take him down.
Gets caught out all of a sudden. Backs against the wall for Boston Breach again. Florida, you don't have time to pick them apart, as I said the previous time. This time you have to be quick. Vivid's going to find one in the middle of the map. He will get traded out. Here comes the push, though. Kremp has been huge for the team. Can't be big there. It's now down to Beans. 1v1 on the point. Florida Mutineers have no lives remaining. Fellow needs to stay alive.
He's trying to fight every single fight he can do as well. Beans snaps on the Vehicle, and Fellow will go down. That is outrageous snap from Beans in the end. But Florida had the opportunity. They had the gunfights. But for some reason, Boston seemed to love being on that back foot. And the pressure is applied towards them. Those ARs, they sit up straight. They lean forward, full-on gamer mode. And there's just a hurricane of fire flying at them.
As I said, that time around, Florida didn't have the time to have to pick them apart from that angle. Find the shots to allow your players to then find that push through. Allow your SMGs to get in their face with a little bit of cover. It was the previous time. They found a couple of kills at bedroom. You got that control. That's the hard part done. You never really seen anyone get irons up from top bedroom side and then go from there and try to pick off Awakening. It was just, oh, well, let's just head first to them and see if we can run at them and just hopefully scare him off. But no, that is not going to happen. Now all of a sudden, Boston seem to have the wind beneath their sails, pushing in over towards the B side. Brack will find 2 crucial kills. It will slow down Boston's initial push, which they will be beaten off completely from. And now it's going to have to be over towards A for Boston Breach, or is it?
They're committing towards it. Vivid already finds that first on the Fellow. Kremp keeping up the pressure on the other side of the map, though. And see who's going to commit towards it as well. With Beans getting that kill, Florida might not go anywhere near A again. And Boston have a decision to make. I think they're doing the standard here, which is leave one player on A. Beans will be sitting pretty and doing nothing. The rest of them going to be flying towards B, and Vehicle falls as well. Vivid has just ripped them apart. And he's still going. Brack will get a kill, but that second tick is B is ticking through, and it might even be a Florida Mutineers holding A.
Yeah, Florida might have to choke this one up. You're not going to get there in time. Be secured. That's tough. Florida kind of took the bait, as you said. It was just a flurry of players up from Boston. Headed there very, very quickly. Brack's done well to find one. Can't find a second. The vice is tightening. It's all about Vehicle here. Staying alive inside the kitchen, but they smell a rat. He's got the new skin on. Who knows? There you go. Beans finds the nade. It's Boston's opportunity here now.
They're waiting for it, Beans. As usual, slow,
Big
steady.
kill.
But that might all be needed. Brack is going to chow here. He's going to go for the lamp jump as well. They're waiting. They're stacking. Florida, here they come. And Vehicle is going to fall fall first. Brack's gonna go down as well. It's a wipe. Only one player left as the rest of them stack the point here. Is Fellow the hero they need? No, it is done. It is over. It is committed to memory. Boston Breach sweep the Florida Mutineers. There'll be no joy for them, but 10 points Boston sorely wanted.
It's all he needed for Boston Breach. Just making that gap that little bit bigger. A huge win for the Boston franchise. 3-0 against Florida Mutineers. We thought it would maybe be a little bit closer. Maps 1 and 2 were, but 3 very much one-sided. Boston very solid in that one, and honestly really good. I want to say, you know, they were really resolute throughout the series. Maps 1 and 2, you were in really difficult positions. Champs still on the line for Boston, and you come back in those games. Really good ice from the Boston side to get those 2 maps, and then map number 3, well, we don't need to talk about too much. It was pretty dominant. They get the job done. Beans was monumental, as was Awakening. The ARs still continue their good form, and it is a scorecard that looks very nice if you're a Boston fan. 252, 3-2, 6-4, 3-1. Job done.
It really isn't. For Florida, you were close, but close is not good enough at this point in the season. You have to get those 10 points to even join the conversation about the bubble. Technically, mathematically, Florida still alive, but dead for many people in our expectations. Boston still flying high, though, and getting the 10 points they needed. It's over to our desk to break this one down.
Are they still in the running? I don't think it really matters. All I know is we're going to see Florida back in Toronto. Thank you, gentlemen. Looking forward to seeing what the squad can do on land once again. Do you have a little bit of pressure off of your back if you're Boston Breach now? You're up to 180 points. You got a 20-point buffer over 8th seed.
Definitely, but mostly because this was a win that was expected out of the Boston Breach, considering the lineup and the way that Florida Mutineers have been looking, but definitely feeling more comfortable.
Let's take a look here at some of the highlights from this game. Name was York calling out Beans, saying he's having a great series. What do you see from the AR?
Yeah, you know, with Beans at times, like, he's the guy who can go out there and get a lot of kills, but he falls into ruts as well. But throughout these last 2 series, and especially in this one, when he's been called upon to make the big play, he's done it. In the search and destroy, after the first few rounds, settling in with that sniper, he then dominated the sniper duel the rest of that game. Also, in this game, in this control, the very first round, he picks up a massive 2-piece, the last one alive on plat. If it's not for that, they potentially lose that round. As they lose B, it's going to be very tough to bounce back, which then leads the momentum to close out the series. But with Beans throughout this entire time, the guy is doing exactly what he needs to do. I've seen him on the rotations. First set of rotations, a little bit tough for the Boston Breach, but as they set into that HyDra, they look so much cleaner. So this is a Boston team that I think has improved so much, bringing Vivid back into the lineup. Like we talked about, Chris, it's not always in the stats. It's in the teammate stats, and the ARs played great throughout this series. There's a reason why.
Vivid also dropping some big numbers in that game 3 as it comes to a sweep. But Allie, if you're looking at games 1 and 2, 2-round difference in search and destroy that went back and forth. And that hard point, Florida looked like a different team in the second half. They looked like they were going to steal that win from Boston.
No, I completely agree with you. Maps 1 and 2 are probably a lot closer than Boston Breach would have preferred to. I think on that HyDra, Boston just kind of got behind in that first set of rotations. And they were relying heavily on those breaks. And then the AR started stepping it up near the later half, and that's why they were able to clutch it up. And when it comes to Embassy Search and Destroy, it's like how I touched on earlier. They go down 4-0 to the Florida Mutineers, and it was they just weren't trying to get that bomb down. Again, with the 10th worst team when it comes to attacking. And what did they do? Beans pull out the sniper. He starts catching that big opening duel win like Ant touched on, and they start getting the bomb down as soon as possible, and they make that 6th round in a row run.
You can't allow that if you're a Mutineers fan. Mutineers basically out for champs. We'll be playing for a piece of the 500,000 though in 2 weeks as we head to Toronto. Let's take a look at our scuff play of the game. This one coming from the UK lad. The Big Beans frying everybody. Let's take a look at this one, Allie.
Yeah, I mean, again, it was just the sniper duel. He was hitting every single shot that he needed to hit. I remember looking up and seeing this pick. I mean, pixelated.
There's one up top here. Yeah, the guy just opens the door, bang, he's dead. Dude, when Beans gets going.
That's the sound the sniper makes, I'm going to be honest.
Hey, we've seen the best sniper kills on this map. Dashy, Big Scope, to Beans taking over, even Fellow earlier in this game. Great map for snipers recently.
We got Beans joining us live to talk about all of those oopsies on the show. How we feeling, Beans? Talk to me about the sniper in the second half of that search and destroy, because you took over, my friend.
Yeah, feeling good. I think Fellow had me in the first half, so I said to the boys, you know, I got to kick up here. Let me start counter stuffing this guy, and then got him a few times there, and we just started playing into our own hands. I think we were a little bit naive at first, the first few rounds, and then we just said, let's just do our own strats, let's do it, and then worked out.
We've seen some of the teams in the league totally just play away from the sniper rifle. It's not in their repertoire. Since you joined this Breach lineup, we've seen it quite a bit. Who else do you think can compete with you at the tier 1 of snipers?
Great question. I think Dashy's up there. He's a pretty good sniper. When I played in S&D this year, it's been a good battle. I mean, you know what? A hidden one's actually Exceed. He's actually not bad with it. Ooh. He pulls it out in the weirdest places, but yeah, he's not bad either.
We learn something new every single day. Bance, congratulations. This is definitely one of the most dominant series we've seen out of you specifically as a player. I wanted to ask you, what is kind of Boston Breach dynamic right now? Because first you were a respawn team, then you kind of started leaning into search and destroy. Now that Vivid's kind of back into the mix, what do you guys feel is your strongest mode?
I don't know. As of late, I'd probably say hardpoint when it comes to practice and stuff. Obviously, Major 4, we were terrible at hardpoint. We were the worst team of the game. I don't know what was going on. The team just wasn't gelling well, I think, when it comes to respawn. But now, obviously, hardpoint's looking a lot better. A bit shaky map 1. I mean, I've been adopting the Hill Kitty role in practice this last couple of weeks. But for some reason, I've opened the scoreboard at the end there, and I've got 15 seconds. So, I don't know what happened there. But we got the map. We whatever, But yeah, I think we got a lot better.
Beans, congratulations on the win. I wanted to ask you, we all saw that listening back at the event where you guys are going crazy and you were screaming, and it's been something that the community's been talking about with Boston's communication. Has that been something that you guys have focused on, and have you adjusted your in-game comms at all?
I think our communication was more down to like in-game leading and like direction of what we want to do, more than the micro small call-outs or flooding comms. It wasn't really about that. If the guys ever said anything to me like calm your comms or stop shouting or whatever, then obviously I'd be right away doing it. But it just helps with the momentum, helps with the team spirit. And I think Reese coming back in has just been really good for the comms overall.
Perfect so far in qualifier Major 5. We can't wait to see you in Toronto. Beans, thank you for joining the show tonight.
Appreciate it, guys.
Boston Breach 2-0. Didn't see that one coming, but they're looking clean so far, and they are going to have a uphill sled moving forward. But we got to talk about these bundles that are up for grabs. Have you heard about the Shinobi Tracer Pack? Yeah, look at all these goodies.
I mean, this is fire. Look at that. You got the blue one, the Tracer packs. I mean, put it on the Vaznov for me.
Ali, read it for me. Read it.
The Vaznov already gets enough. The stealth is always an option with the Shinobi Tracer pack.
True.
It includes 2 Tracer blueprints and a shadowy operation skin for Chewie.
It's available. It's in the game. Get it right now. We're going
Shinobi, baby.
Back final battle of the night, and it features Clayster. You don't want to miss it. FaZe and the little guys take on the tall old man. Atlanta, Vegas. After this.